Hello everyone, it's Angela Nesbitt and welcome to my color story and welcome to spring. Today we are talking about getting inspired in this beautiful season of spring. So it's really quite simple, but sometimes we get in our way a little bit. And so today I'm offering 5 tips to help us just ignite that inspiration a little bit. The first thing we're going to talk about is to do what we love. The second thing is to really figure out what fuels us. Number 3 is to find something that you're excited about. Number 4 is to watch the people you're hanging out with. We'll talk a little bit more about that one. And number 5 is to give yourself space, both physically and mentally or emotionally. So the first one is just simple about doing things you love. Your creativity really just, we've talked about this before, but it's like a wildfire. It grows when you're in the groove and you're doing things you like, and it just kind of feeds on itself and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And in the reverse, if you're in a slump, it also can sort of feed you that direction too, and be a little bit harder to get out of. So just do things you love, and that will really help get that inspiration fired up. Number 2, figuring out what fuels you. And this is not just in the studio, this is in life. Like, what fuels you, what fires you up, and do more of that and do less of what you don't really want to do or what is depleting to you. And I know this is hard when we have family and life and all kinds of things coming at us, and there are things that we often have to do that we maybe don't want to do, but we can say no to some things. We can set more boundaries and really kind of try to live our life more intentionally, and that can just fuel us all the way back into the studio as well. Because if we're depleting ourselves outside of the studio all the time, it really will impact us in the studio. So be careful about that and really think about what fuels you and what you're saying yes to, and maybe there's some things you should start saying no to and take more intentional control of what you're doing every week. So number 3 is dreading getting to the easel. So we need to flip that around. We don't want to dread getting to the easel. So we need to flip that mindset and come up with something exciting, a new subject, a new paint, a new class, a new something. And we've talked about this before too, but it just is so true. And I just want to keep telling you so that we all are inspired and excited, and we're in our studio and having a blast. So really search out something that you're excited about, a subject matter, a paint, play some great music, get yourself in the mood, mix some paints, maybe go paint with a friend at a distance. Do something to flip that if you have that little bit of dread, and get that inspiration fired up. Next is watch out who you're hanging around with. So this is a big one because creatives are often kind of sensitive, and I mean that in a good way. Because if we weren't sensitive, we would have a harder time expressing ourselves. And if you are around a lot of Debbie Downers and just negative Nellies and people that are just not supporting you, not only in your art but just in life, it really just can bring us all really down. So I know there might be people in your life that are harder to maybe not spend as much time with, but if you have a choice, try to surround yourself with positive, supportive, and inspirational people, because that will really help you to stay inspired and creative, and just happier in general. And the last one is to just give yourself some space. And this is a big one. When I can tend to burn myself out several times a year. And the first really prescription for this is to just slow down and give myself some time and not be on such a tight deadline and everything's back to back to back to back. Have some days that just let them flow more. Spend a little more time outside and don't feel so rushed to accomplish and check something off the list. And just it's very constricting to be on that kind of treadmill or hamster wheel. And if you just kind of loosen things up a little bit and give yourself a little more space, it's amazing how much more inspired we get and how much more excited we get and really just generally happier. So I say that to myself because that's a lesson I've had to learn the hard way. And I encourage everyone to really kind of open up, not only physical space, get outside, but also your mental space and give yourself a break a little bit, and that will definitely stoke up your inspiration. So I hope those helped. I'd love to hear how you guys are getting inspired down in the comments or over in Angela's Color Story, my free private Facebook group. We have great conversations going on over there, so please join us. And until next week, have a great week.